Hi, and welcome to episode 176 of the Heartland Knits podcast. My name is Vicki, but you can find me as Heartland Knits on Ravelry and Instagram. And today is Sunday, October 29th, 2017. This is going to be an all sewing show. I want to show you the fabrics that I have gathered in the last kind of month, 2 months, and kind of the patterns that I want to use with them. I have a couple new patterns. These are going to be projects that kind of reach till the end of the year. One of them I'm pretty sure is going to reach past into the new year. I'm a kind of a slow sewer, but these are all my sort of plans for the next little bit. I think I will start out with, it's actually the newest fabric. I just bought this the other day, but it's probably the most boring and most mundane project of all of them. So I'll start you out with that one. But I bought this really beautiful flannel just at Joann's. They were having a sale, and I thought I could use a new pair of pajama pants. I made a couple pair last year and really enjoyed wearing them during the winter. The pattern that I used last year, so I'm going to use it again because it worked perfect, is this Simplicity 2061, and I'm doing View D, which is this one. I like the fact that they have little pockets in them, but they're pretty simple, straightforward pajama pants. So I'm going to make those pretty soon. It's getting cold. The next fabric that I'm going to show you might have missed its chance to get made up, mostly because it's a cotton and the weather has turned pretty cold, so I'm not sure how practical it would be to wear that. But I do like to try out a new pattern in kind of an inexpensive cotton quilt. So this is just a quilting cotton, but it's this really pretty floral. I like it a lot. I like all the colors in it. I have a lot of sweaters that I could wear with it. But the pattern that I bought at the same time, and I thought, oh, I could try that out with it, is this one. It's New Look 0722. It's similar to a lot of my dress patterns that I already have used. It's a very kind of fit and flare with a pleated skirt. But the bodice I want to do this one, it's the View C. I think you can see it a little bit better on the pink version. It has these little pleats in the bodice. It makes it look kind of like a faux wrap dress. And I don't have a pattern with a bodice like that. And I just thought it would be kind of pretty. And I like that this one has the long sleeves because most of my patterns are sleeveless. I've been mostly making little summer dresses. So I like that this had a sleeve attached. So I'm not sure if this will actually get sewn up. It just depends when I get to the point where I'm going to sew this dress. I might just do a regular muslin and then kind of go on to the regular fabric. The dress that I know is going to be next up, though, is with this beautiful fabric. It has this, it's a corduroy, and it has these little flowers in it. It's coming up a little bit brighter than it is in person. It's probably a little bit more that color, but I want to show you the pretty little flowers. It's up next because I love the color of it, but also the center of these little flowers is kind of this gold color. And when I saw it, right away I thought of my gold and silver, or my yellow and silver malalas, Fluebog malalas, that it would look really pretty with. And so that's why this one is up next. I'm not sure exactly which pattern that I'm going to use for it. I might just use the same one. It was a New Look pattern that I used for my corduroy dress last fall. It has a sleeve. It has sleeves, and I know I want to do that, and I know it would all work. So I think I will probably use that pattern. So I do have another corduroy that I wanted to show you, and this one, that kind of red one, was from Joann's. It's not the super best quality, but it's pretty, and it will do for kind of the dress that I want to use for it. But this one I also bought from Joann's, but it is night and day in the quality of it. It's a really pretty color, but it's very light and kind of drapey. It's almost got a more of a velvety feel, but it does have the little, pinwheel ridges in it. And it's really nice and drapey. And this is the fabric I was thinking of doing this dress in. And I do have one more corduroy fabric. It is that time of year. I ordered this from Mood Fabrics, and I love it. It's so beautiful. It's got these big floral patterns in it, kind of this kind of a creamy background, kind of a winter white, and then these cranberry flowers, and it has charcoal and gray sort of stems. I think that I want to use this for my Christmas dress. I do want to make a sort of dedicated dress for Christmas, and I think this would be really pretty and fun and festive. The pattern that I'm thinking, this fabric is a little bit thicker. It's got a really nice feel to it, but it has a little bit of stretch in it. So it feels a little bit heavier, certainly, than that blue or even the other one. So I'm not sure. I was thinking it would be pretty in this one. This is the Gertie pattern that I made my little bird dress out of, with the kind of collar in the back. And I also was thinking of this one. This is the pattern. This is Vogue 8648, and then this one is Buttrick B6094. This is the one I did my couture dress out of. But both of these, I was thinking maybe instead of doing the kind of big full skirt, I would do the slimmer version, the narrow skirted version. Just because it has that little bit of stretch, so it might feel comfortable that way. And then it is a little heavy. It's heavier, and that might alleviate some of that. I'm thinking of maybe doing one of those two. I'm not really sure just yet. And then I also have this fabric. This I bought way at the beginning of summer. You might remember. I bought this really pretty, it was sitting on that weight, and it shed on it. This really pretty flannel. It's got kind of a herringbone pattern. And with this, I was thinking of doing this pattern, which is Buttrick 6487, and a lowered waistline, and I would do the 3/4 length sleeves. And then I wanted to show you, I did buy one other pattern. One day I went into Joann's, and they were all the simplicity patterns were $1 or 99 cents, and I bought one I'll show you in a little bit, but I also bought this one. I'm sure you've seen it. It's Simplicity 1459. It's this vintage kind of 50s shirt dress. As far as dresses go, I really like this sort of short sleeve version, and I've looked at this pattern before and just sort of thought, I don't really need that, I don't really need that. And then this time I was looking at it, and I turned it over to look at the line drawings. And I know this is not going to show up, I don't think, but the 3/4 sleeve version had little marks on the at the elbow, and the pattern for the sleeve has elbow darts. when I did the Susan Caldry Craftsy class, that was one thing she said, oh, if you have long sleeves, it should have elbow darts. And she did them in hers. The pattern doesn't have it in the bolt pattern that's used for that class. And she just sort of worked it, and I couldn't really work out how to do it. And the sleeves I made were shorter anyway, just because of that's how much fabric I had left. But I'm thinking I might want to try to put these sleeves in another dress or something. Anyway, for $1, I figured it was worth it just to see sort of how they were done and be able to maybe figure it out more that way. And then I have one other great big project that I'm going to show you. It's a challenge for me. So it's the fabric's right over there. So let me get that. So this year I decided, with winter coming, that I wanted to sew a winter coat. It feels like a huge challenge to me. I'm approaching it the right way, and if you have any words of advice, let me know. So I ordered some fabric samples because I wanted to make sure of the fabric and get the right thing. It's kind of a big project. I looked online for patterns, and I kind of fell hard for a pattern, and then I discovered it was out of print. And this is a pattern that Gertie designed, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. It's a buttrick pattern. It was B5824. Obviously, I did track down a copy. I found this on eBay. I just was sort of Googling coat patterns, and I think maybe 5 or 6 years ago she did a sew along with this pattern. So there's a lot of examples out there in the sewing blogs, and I kind of fell hard for it, and I thought it looked like something that maybe I could do. So I love the shape of it. I love the big shawl collar and the sort of close-fitted waist with just the 2 buttons. I'll show you the line drawings on the back. You can sort of see that. And the other thing which made me think that maybe I could actually make this is that it has kimono sleeves. So the sleeves are not set in. I've done a couple set-in sleeves in dresses, but somehow it seems way more intimidating to do it in a coat. Sewing in that small area with the kind of bigger, bulkier fabric, it just seems a lot more intimidating. And also getting the fit right, because a dress is one thing, but a coat sort of has to, you can't have if they're set-in sleeves, they can't be drop shoulder, sort of. You have to get the fit right, I think, is harder with the set-in sleeves. So I was thinking that this seemed like a pattern that I might be able to do. I had gotten some samples from Mood, and I ordered the fabric. It was a great big gulp moment when I pressed the order for this, because this pattern has a big circle skirt. So this takes a lot of fabric. When it came in the box, it was a little overwhelming. So, but I found this beautiful pink. This is how much wool is in that coat. It's pretty heavy. It's going to be, but when it's on you, winter coats are generally pretty heavy. But it's this beautiful pink, and I love pink. Pink is my neutral. So it's a really very nice coating. It's a wool blend. It's wool, and it has a little bit of nylon and a little bit of cashmere. I think 10% cashmere, 20% nylon. But it's a very thick coating. I'm thinking that I am going to do this as kind of a couture garment, doing an underlining. I'm not sure if it needs a flannel underlining. It's pretty thick. I did get a coating sample from fabric.com, and theirs was much thinner. It was this is maybe twice as thick. But I do want to underline it just to make sure of fitting. I'm going to do a muslin of the bodice, and then, you know, because with those sleeves, the dresses, I'm having better luck fitting them onto the dress form. Since I've gotten that, it's been a little bit easier fitting the dresses. Because this has sleeves, I'm not so sure, so I'm going to have somebody else check kind of the fit in the back for me. This feels, it's like, it was a big gulp. I felt a little bit the same way last year when I bought the fabric for the drapes in the yarn room. They cost kind of a comparable amount, and actually the drapes were more because there were 2 windows, but I'm thinking if I take it slow, I can get it done. So I had sort of decided on this Gertie pattern, and that's the amount of fabric that I bought when I bought it. And then when I went to Joann's that day and they had 99cents, you know, patterns, I did look through them, and I saw this one, and I know that I've seen pictures, I saw pictures of this online too. And I think this is really, really cute. And this is a Simplicity pattern, 1197. It's a very, very different style. This is a very kind of 60s style. And so, but this one also doesn't have set-in sleeves. It has a raglan sleeve, which seemed doable to me, and you know, completely different style. So I thought, well, maybe I should do this one, because I had just gotten this great big mountain of wool. So obviously I will have enough if I would decide to do this one. So for $1, I thought, just get the pattern. Eventually, maybe you'll want to make a second coat if you don't use it this time around. But I do think I am going to go for this one because I love the style of it and the big swing. I'm hoping that it's going to work. And I have one more sewing project that I wanted to show you and tell you about. And it is not a garment. It's something that I've wanted to do ever since last year when I did the yarn room. I want to do this for the yarn room. And that is, I want to make a tuffet. I love these little things so much. They're so cute. It's a little footed footstool. So I wanted to make one of these last year. I have never quilted. I'm not a quilter. I've never quilted. I watched a lot of quilting shows way, way back in the day. But this is done in a kind of quilting, what do they call it? Foundation quilting kind of way. And I wanted to take a class last year, and there was one, but there wasn't any space in it. And then I found another one, and it was in Madison, which is a couple hours away. And then kind of winter hit, and I got distracted by all the other things and kind of forgot about it. And then this kind of late summer, early autumn, a friend of mine told me, we went out for lunch, and she said, I'm taking a tuffet class. I'm going to make a tuffet. I went, oh, take the class, and then you can teach me how to make the tuffet. So she's going to. She is a quilter. And she just finished hers the other night. But she told me, I got all of these things on Amazon. So she told me the pattern to get. And in here is a piece of fusible interfacing that has kind of the wedges of the pattern that you sew on. I've read the instructions, and I know how to get it started. It's where you run into this thing. This is called the add a quarter ruler, which is you use to trim off the pieces. And so I'm not quite sure how to use this. She told me, get one of these. So I did. I do have a cutting mat and rotary cutter. That was my mom's. Actually, I gave it to my mom because we used to watch all these quilting shows on TV, on PBS, on Saturday mornings. And she was a quilter, but she did hand applique and hand quilting, which is, if I ever did a quilt, that's what I would do too, because I love the hand sewing. And then you use a jelly roll to make this. So I knew right off I wanted to use K Facet fabric. So I chose this one and I just love it. It's called the lipstick color or lipstick. They don't call it a jelly roll, they call it a design roll. But, you know, so it has all these reds and pinks and orange. There's a lot of oranges in there. I was surprised how much orange was in there, but I think it will be really fun. So this is a project that I'm going to work on, I don't know, sometime this fall and winter. I think once it gets started, and then once you do all the sewing, then you have to do the assembly. I haven't bought any of the kind of finishing. It's got foam and a great big kind of board that you have to have cut, and you can do collect all the pieces and do it yourself, or you can kind of buy a kit from the Tough It people, either one that you have to assemble yourself or one that's already assembled. I'm waiting to see if I can actually do this sewing thing, because you have to be very precise with that kind of quilting and things. So we'll see how that works. But it is something that I want to, something different that I want to do. So hopefully gathering all these things together and having them around me is going to make me take the plunge from imagine sewing to actual sewing. Let's hope so. But I thank you all very much for watching, and if you liked this or you have any ideas about it, please give me a comment or give me a thumbs up, and please do subscribe so that you get notified. I am, like I said, I am breaking these into kind of sewing centric episodes and knitting episodes. I am doing active stash building in the sewing department though, because especially for winter fabrics, I don't have nearly as many as kind of summer things. So anyway, thank you all for watching, and until I see you another time, happy sewing.